Hi, I'm Cassidy Shaffer, and this is part 3 of the Linux files tutorial. In this video, we'll be discussing file attributes and permissions. File attributes are represented by 10 characters. The first character represents the file type. The next 3 characters represent the file permissions for the user. The following 3 represent the file permissions for the group. The last 3 represent the file permissions for others. Others are anyone else that is not the user or in the group. You will sometimes hear others referred to as the world. You can view file attributes by using the list command with the L option. The file type is represented as the first character in the file attribute. The dash means a regular file, such as Word documents, PowerPoints, Excel, etc. D represents directories, such as folders. L represents symbolic link, which is a special type of file that contains a reference to another file or directory in the form of an absolute or relative path, and that affects path name resolution. An example of this are shortcut files on your Windows desktop. C represents a character special file, which is a device that handles data as a stream of bits, such as a terminal or modem. B represents a block special file, which is a device that handles data in blocks such as a hard drive. The file permissions are represented in the 9 characters following the file type character in the file attributes. File permissions are used to protect users and system files. There are 3 types of permissions. R represents read, W represents write, and X represents execute. There are also some special permission types. The set user identification allows user to access files and directories that are normally only available to the owner. It sets the user permissions as the same permissions the owner has. The set group identification is similar to the set user identification. The only difference is that the user is granted access based on permissions granted to that group. The sticky bit is a permission bit that protects the files within a directory. A file can only be deleted by the owner of the file, the owner of the directory, or by the root. This prevents a user from deleting other users' files from public directories such as the temp directory. I wouldn't worry too much about memorizing these special permission types. I would recommend that you know and understand the different file types and the basic permission types. Now let's look at some file attributes in a Linux terminal. Here I have a Linux terminal opened, and as you can see, my current working directory is files. Now if I type in the list command ls, I can see that I have 2 files in there. Now if I add the option L by typing in -L at the end of the list command, I can see more information on these files. The first thing that's shown is the 10 characters that are the file attributes. So the file introductions file has a file type of dash, which represents a regular file. The user can read and write but not execute. The group can only read, and that's the same for others. Now if we look at this file called folder, we can see the file type is D, which represents a directory, and the user, which is me, can read, write, and execute. And the group can read and execute and not write. And that's the same for the others. In the next video, we'll be talking about how we can change these file permissions. See you then.